Assalamu alaikum. In this video, I wanted to talk about my experience traveling to Argentina and Chile as a Muslim, and specifically share my experiences in terms of the Muslim community and halal food options. So I visited these countries in February and March of 2023, and the primary reason for us to head down there was to explore the beautiful Patagonia region. It's a gorgeous area with mountains, glaciers, and overall amazing scenery. Our trip began in Buenos Aires, the capital city of Argentina. When looking for halal food or a Muslim community, the first thing that caught my eye was the King Fahad Islamic Cultural Center in the Palermo region of Buenos Aires. This was a short walk from the wonderful Palermo neighborhood where we stayed during our trip. The masjid is massive. It's built on an approximately 34,000 square meter property. In addition to the musalla, the property also includes a school, museum, and a health center. I visited the masjid on a Friday, and this was a really awesome experience. This was the first time I've heard a Jummah khutbah delivered in Spanish, and what was really nice was that they provided a translation in English for both the Spanish and Arabic portions of the khutbah. After Jummah, we ended up befriending a few locals and even got a ride to our next destination from one of them as he saw us walking out of the masjid. Alright, so now let's talk about the zabiha food options. So there's this one restaurant that pretty much everyone recommended called Rawshe. Unfortunately, during our time here, it was closed due to the holiday. But besides that, there didn't really seem to be too many other options. We did find this one other place called Demaskh, which we only found out about because we met the owner at Jummah. This is a shawarma place that's also in the Palermo region. Besides these two, I find it quite hard to find places to eat. We found a few places on Google, but some of them appear to have permanently closed, likely due to the pandemic. There's this one other option that I was very excited to try called Tango Dolar, which had really good reviews, a lot of which say that it does serve halal Argentinian steak and it's also certified, but unfortunately the timings didn't work out and it was closed by the time we got there, so we didn't have a chance to try it out. So as a backup, we also sought out seafood, and unfortunately this was probably my only real disappointment about Argentina. The truth is, the seafood options are very limited and honestly overpriced. Although when I say overpriced, I mean for Argentina specifically, because with the blue dollar rate, it's a cheap country overall. Part of the problem is that Argentina is a nation that runs on meat and steaks and isn't very seafood oriented. We found a few places with salmon, and once we were down south, trout. There's also some menus with calamari and shrimp, but honestly it's very mediocre and it was nothing worth writing home about. So my overall thoughts on Argentina is that it's a lovely place with amazing scenery, hiking, and lots of really cool stuff to see. The only drawback for Muslim travelers in my opinion is that the halal food options and the seafood options are both quite limited. Now on to Chile. While the halal food scene is very similar, the seafood is actually the opposite. It's more pricey here, similar to the prices in the US, but it's also very good. And this holds true for both Santiago and Puerto Natales. In addition, whereas in Buenos Aires it was tough to find good options outside of the traditional Argentinian cuisine, Santiago seemed to offer more quality options from diverse cultures. For example, there were lots of sushi options, and we even found this amazing Thai place called Soho Thai with very good seafood options. Now as for the Muslim community and the masjids, in Santiago we prayed at Mezquita Es Salam, or the Santiago Central Masjid, which is located in northeastern Santiago.
Llama a la gente del Corán, ¿cierto? Describe a la gente del Corán como la gente cercana a Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The khutbah was delivered in Spanish, but what I found was that a lot of the people here know English really well and it's very easy to communicate with them. Through those conversations, I found out that just outside of the masjid you can find a few halal options, including this shawarma takeout place called Hummus. Just so you know, it doesn't come up when you look for halal food on Google, and it's something we only found out because we talked to the locals. Through those conversations, I also found out about this neighborhood called Barrio Patronato, which is home to numerous Palestinian restaurants. And this is really interesting because, in fact, Chile is believed to be home to the largest Palestinian community outside of Palestine itself. We talked to one of the shop owners at El Amin, which is a dessert shop, and the owner told us about her story as a refugee who came to Chile. She was really nice. She gave us free baklava. That was pretty good. And she gave us her perspective as a Muslim living in Chile. Now overall, Chile and Argentina are great places to visit, And as a Muslim traveler, you will find some beautiful masjids and some really nice communities in both capital cities. The limitation is really when it comes to food options for Muslim travelers. And when it comes to food, I'm gonna have to give the edge to Chile, specifically due to the seafood. Overall, in both areas, there are limited zabiha options, and it seems like the best way to find them is to just talk to locals at the masjid and dig into it yourself. So that's all I have for this video. If you would like to, for example, get in touch with some of the people that I talk to, feel free to message me and I will try to put you in touch. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll tune in next time.